everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and today we're taking a look at a game called Sounds Fishy, where the phrase red herring is, which is a phrase we use here in America to say a red herring, a false clue, a false lead, and that's what this is. Players are going to be giving you an answer to a question that probably no one knows the answer to. One of them is the correct answer. The rest are incorrect answers that players have made up. Sounds like a lot of other party games, but let's see if it's different at all. Here's how it plays. To play this game, you have a gigantic amount of questions, but you just put enough so that you can pull them from this box without seeing what they are. There's a bunch of coins here, which are essentially points, and then you have the red herrings. Well, most of them red herrings. One of them is a true blue Kipper. So the true blue Kipper is always included, and then you have one red herring for each other player, except for the player who's a guesser. So let's say you're playing with 6 players, you would need 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for everyone else. These are shuffled each round and given them out. You can look and see what you have, and you'll put it in front of you. The person who is the guesser, and that will go around the table, will read a question. In 2007, Kevin Shelley broke 46 what with his head in a minute. So everyone is trying to think of an answer, but everyone gets to see the answer. See, on the back of the card, for example, thrash metal band Austrian Death Machine wrote songs based entirely on what? Arnold Schwarzenegger movies. Everyone can see the answer. So the true blue Kipper, that's their answer. They don't have to think much. Everyone else has to think of a fake answer. Then you simply go around the table and say what it is. So everyone's going to, again, look at their card, and so maybe one person says, what did he break with his head? One person says toilet seats. Another person says lead pipes. Another person says pile of bricks. Another person says phone books. Another person says sticks. And you have to pick, and you're like, well, 6 is obviously wrong. So you turn them over, and it's a red. Now, you can stop there and get 1 point, but you can keep turning over, and if you turn over all the reds first, and the last one you turn over is a blue, well, that's really good for you, because then you're going to get a point for each one. So you get 5 points in this situation. If you flip the blue over, though, and there's still reds, you get no points. So you want to stop. Everyone else is going to get points. If you're a red herring and you're flipped, you get nothing. But if you're not flipped, you get a point for every flip fish, including the true blue Kipper. The true blue Kipper gets a point if you get flipped for every unflipped fish on the table. And if you don't get flipped, well, you get 0 points. That's it. You go around to the next person, and each person is going to be the guesser twice in a 4 to 5 player game and once in a 6 to 10 player game. That's the whole game. Whoever has most points is the winner. By the way, you can see these points, and the fish here are very shiny. And like I said, there's a lot of different cards in the game. A Boston orchestra whose music is all about office work use only what to make their music? Walt Disney said that he loved Mickey Mouse more than what? Josatsu Sami, Japan, the world's first underwater what was installed? Mr. Gox is a hamster who helps people make decisions about what? So I'm not going to spoil the answers for you, but those are the kinds of questions in the game. On many hands, Sounds Fishy is a little generic as a party game. Now, this is from Big Potato Games. They make a lot of great party games. So I don't want that to sound super negative, because I don't mean it to be. I also think the game is pretty easy to play, which is actually a big positive point in its favor. I'll just tell you straight up, I'm giving this one a 7 out of 10. I like it. There's a few things I would not mind. I feel like the answers, I played a similar game to this one time where someone picked who the right answer was. So as people just said all their answers, and one person said the right answer out loud. I found out to be a little interesting, a little fiddlier. This is a little cleaner than that, but I thought that was very clever. This is a little less clever. If you get the blue true Kipper, you're just like, I guess I'll read the right answer. So I suppose you're still trying to make it sound like toilet seats. You'll say it, in a way that makes it sound like you're making it up. So there's a bit of that in the game. But the game isn't too hard, because the answer is pretty easy to come up with one. So let's say, for example, in ancient Greece, why did the philosopher Empedocles jump into a volcano? So when I see the answers is to show he was a god,
But once you see that answer, someone will be like, well, to prove his love to somebody else, because he was disillusioned with no one was listening to his philosophy, because he couldn't stand the fact that Aristotle wasn't better than him, whatever it might be. You don't have to be super creative. You just have to think of some maybe variation on the answer that is shown on the card or something like that. And I found that some people are very creative and they love, to make up stuff. Other people have a harder time coming up with that stuff on the spot, but they'll still be able to play this game. It works pretty well. Now, I was going to play this with my family in a lot of ways, but I don't think it works as well because there's a lot of pop culture stuff in here that they may or may not know. Yep. Like when you saw that one about the death metal band. And I think there's also, again, even though it says here 10 and up, I think this is a party game that's going to appeal to adults more often than not, just because of a lot of the questions and things. I don't think kids are going to find it as funny or humorous. But I still think it works well. If you have older teens and families, I think it's a quick, easy game to set up. Again, you're guessing. It has a little bit of that push your luck aspect, flipping the red herrings over. But sometimes the real answer is ludicrous and you'll flip it over. So I wouldn't put a lot of stock in the point score at the end of the game. But the point score is still there, and it does have a lot of nice components. So I like it. It's fun. It's one of those easy games to throw on the table. Sounds fishy. Check it out.